picked Meg and they banned Rubica to protect it. I think this Kunkka pick actually came because X has a similar function. Like if Magnus gets a skewer and you X and redirect him, or you X your ally, you can stop that skewer play from coming in.
That's quite interesting. Yeah, you can actually X the Tiny. Yep.
We also see Enchantress coming in. I think this hero, you know, they have this slow lineup, but something you can do is you can play really aggressive early with Enchantress. There's double range supports and a Magnus. This hero can actually snowball this game.
Yeah, he definitely can.
I like these types of Dota drafts. I really like these drafts that are a bit lackluster too. Like I'm a big fan of Enshkaret, especially back in the day, but there's a big hole, which is your AoE, your team fight, your ability to fight into them. Oh, TB, the draft, okay. But still, they're banking everything on this Christmas tree wolf that's going to happen at some point, and it breaks the whole game, you know? And this is also the Ench is just here to help that happen, to make that happen.
It really seems like LGD doubled down on we are going to secure the strongest 20-minute timing.
Yes.
And Team Spirit, I actually think that LGD is on a timer. If they cannot enforce this 20-minute timing and snowball the game, this is when the Wyve and the TB, the Magnuses, they will scale greatly. So it's going to be down to can LGD execute their best strategy.
Yeah.
That's an exciting matchup for Game 5 of the finals, because LGD, like, you look at them throughout the tournament, they've always been hitting their timings. You look at Spirit, they've been breaking teams at what they do best. And now we have the Game 5 where they're matching up here.
I want to see Yules, I want to see a way to stop this cure. Collapse has proven you cannot play against his Magnus if you don't have ways to deal with this cure. LGD, they don't really have that. I feel like both teams got very powerful tools. It's kind of scary.
You think you're going to see the X mark? I can see it.
It's harder than the Rubik one. Like,
I think it's
half time,
harder,
but I think it might happen. Even if you have to go high ground, X the Tiny, hit the tower.
But then you have to create a situation where the Tiny is getting something done. You know, in the mid game and stuff, it's not the same. It's exciting. Both teams have great tools to take it on.
Last time Miposhka played Vyron, he owned the game.
Yeah. It's gonna be crazy. I mean, that's what we wish for. It's like, can both teams get a solid draft? Can they get their comfort? They did. We're in for a treat.
So who do you guys think the most important hero on LGD is for them to hit their timing? Like, whose early game matters the most?
Obviously the Kunkka, and I would also say the supports will have a huge part to play. The Lycan, the Tiny, they still have roles to play in the early game. Everybody does, and if you can help negate pressure, if you can get that random support kill if they're doing something illegal in your jungle, or kill the wave with your hero, then sure.
And for the Team Spirit side, do you think there's anyone who can sort of stop that onslaught early?
They're going to look at the Ember.
Yeah.
Ember. Everybody's looking at Ember for this match. Yeah.
It has to be the Ember.
And now we're going to the... But before we go into game...
Prepare for battle.
Expectations in life.
Thank you very much, Sumi. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the deciding Game 5 here at the TI10 Grand Finals. Team Spirit against PSG.LGD. I'm ODPixel, joined, of course, once again by the fabulous Insania.
30 seconds to
What have we got in front of us here? What have we got in store for us this game, Aiden?
Man, what a crazy game. I think the last game was very, very much in LGD's favor straight from the draft. I think this is really even, and I completely agree with what Seb had to say, where I think both teams have different things going for themselves. I think if this game does scale up, if it goes very slowly, if the 20-minute timing from the Tiny isn't abused, then LGD's draft is going to just lack in power as the game scales up. I'm a little bit worried about how much the impact the Sky, Kunkka, Enchantress combo can have together around the map, and how well Team Spirit will be able to shut it down. I think runes, just like Silent said, luck, you know? And I don't think he was joking. Luck really does matter. If they get those power runes, it's going to be huge for them.
I mean, we saw as well from Spirit the sort of the very carefree attitude it worked out at the start of this series. I've been asked before the first game, you know, how the preparation was. Silent said, well, we didn't get to do much at all. We're just turning up to play and have a bit of fun. That fun certainly looked to be effective in Game 1 and Game 2, but Game 3 and Game 4, as we've just seen, PSG.LGD, they have stepped it up. They've hit back hard. And now is the time to see if they can continue on the road to the reverse sweep, or Team Spirit can find that magic that was getting them through the first two games of the series.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is going to be a battle of the mid laners come after laning phase. I think the laning phase is probably going to be fairly even. Both heroes will farm fairly well, but that 6-minute rune, Owen, I think has a massive edge in this game because they're going to get to decide what happens and the other respond.
Absolutely, we've seen the importance of those timings, those power runes already many times in the series, many times in the tournament itself. Both teams fully be aware of this, and we'll see a lot of focus around that first spawn. Looking at the side lanes here, getting into the action. Who's having the rough time here in the early game?
I actually think most lanes are just going to be fairly farmy. The top side of the map, I think, is probably where you're going to see the most kind of action. There's a little bit of threat from the tiny edge to potentially make some sort of kill move, but I really think it's right now, you know, you want to get as much farm as you can out of the lanes before the supports have to rotate out. So I expect all 6 cores of this game to have a fairly decent start.
All right, well, we'll see if there's going to be any slip-ups in the laning stage.
Yeah, it's very even so far.
Mid lane for 1 against the 8 for 0. Of course, TI10 taking quite the hit from the Tidebringers, and nothing to say. Bottom lane, Xingqiu is a little low here, but into the trees he goes. A TP away just in time before Yatoro is able to hunt him down.
Yep, so the Metamorphosis has been popped, but they have link control up top, and the advantage of having link control is that TB can't really run you down with his ranged attack the way he wants to, so not the ideal position for this meta to be used. If you're able to use it right outside of your own tier 1 tower, you can kind of zone out any other hero to come into the lane, but Faithion's doing just fine during this meta.
Poshka trying his best to get Xingqiu away from Terrorblade, keep that area safe for Yatoro.
Yeah, nothing to say is doing very well mid. I'm a little bit surprised at this. He's almost a full creep wave ahead.
I'll see the courier taken out up top. Mirror continuing to trade as best they can here with White.
Yeah, good job making sure this top hard camp.
But the collapse has hit the level 3. See if he's got enough lockdown and damage to take this kill, and yes he does. At the same time in the mid lane, TI10 very below there, has to get out of the range of a potential Tidebringer. He will, but there we have it. First blood up top. Again, quick read from Spirit there as soon as they knew that they had the setup and the level 3 on Magnus.
Yeah, this mid lane is going excellently for nothing to say. TI10 here has a hard choice of do I go for the bounce rune or do I stay in the lane and try to farm. Ooh, nice sleight of fist. Plunges up to farm. But yeah, overall, I think very stable lanes all around. TB liking about even. Mid lane is really the only outstanding lane so far to me.
Sure, and we know how scary nothing to get when he has a start like this. The setups that he'll be able to offer to the team, they're going to be huge, and a fair bit of damage to follow up each and every time that nothing to say gets a catch.
Yeah, and LGD really on top of refilling the bottle, right? You see, TI10 is not quite getting the same support mid, and that's because their heroes are forced to stay in their lanes right now. They can't really move their pieces on the
Radiant's
map.
courier
And
has been killed.
already winning the lane, getting that free bottle refill. He's going to be able to steal the small camp away from Ember. This is huge. Nothing to say is off to a great start in this Game 5 of the Grand Final.
Dire's middle tower
It's very
is
hard
under
for
attack.
TI10 to do too much about it. Of course, Kunku early on. So HP, he's not going to be too scared of being burnt down by the Ember at the early levels.
Yep, and up top you see, like, this is generally how the early game is developing in this Grand Final, where the Tiny gets the 1 versus 1 lane against the Mag, because there's no real kill threat. Neither side can really pressure each other too much, and the two supports are kind of battling it out in the jungle. But here we go, Collapse is really far up into the lane. This could be a lot of pressure.
See Mirror. Back at his side though, in case Arme and White
Yep.
find the connection.
I feel like the one small edge PSG.LGD has had in this Grand Final is they're able to keep their safe lane really close to their tower constantly. They're not losing control on their safe lane. And it's allowing for them to have very good creep equilibrium, and that then in return makes Collapse forced to play much safer.
Oh, see Mirror not quite able to close the gap on the courier. Has left Collapse rather on his own. Nice little circle around the tree line. Sorry from the two of them.
He's actually a player that very often manages to get these jukes where he kind of takes a route that people don't expect him to and gets out of these tricky situations. Wonder if he can get out now though. Wise on top of him. He has a slow.
There's a fair bit of damage. Does still have the skewer for a follow-up impetus, or the combo of Arme close in on him.
Yeah, Faith Beyond getting initiated on bottom. Flies used, meta's used, but immediate TP out. Again, great presence of mind. You can tell why these players are in the grand finals. They're not giving anything away for free. It's not like neither team's attempting to make moves. It's just both teams are really on top of it.
Set up here with a combo. Nice dodge. Flies off to the side in front of Tokyo. In fact, over in the triangle, they're able to catch out. Or in fact, well, White did deny the bounty ring, but it will cost him his life. Coming over for that one there as Team Spirit were prepared for that move.
Yeah, and Tron.
Radiant's
Illusion rune there. So a little bit of miscoordination there. I think if you time that Ancient Seal a bit better, generally speaking, you know, you're going to use the exit Torrent. If you get the silence after the Torrent goes off, then the potential to get the boat in is there. And I think if they did the combo that way, they might have gotten the kill. But of course, the fear of Ember potentially dodging the Torrent with a slight forced them to use it too early.
Yeah, no. And the mid. It's going to be hard for them to make that play again. Top lane. The Nightmare set up onto Arme. Collapse. Damage. Doesn't look like quite as the shockwave will.
The fallen rocks.
Tiny are going to find.
For the lane, they managed to get lane control up top, and immediately when they get it, they have the opportunity to pressure Tiny. So force him off the wave, force him to go into the jungle, and he doesn't have any right, so he's going to have to spend gold on the next region.
They're going for him early on, hit with the three of them surrounding the Terrorblade. Yutoro is trapped in the trees. The moves from the supports of PSG.LGD start to come in. See the counterplay attempted. Set up with the Nightmare, but the TP's already coming over for nothing to say. He'll be ready to fight if Team Spirit push any further, and they won't. They'll respect the potential of a backup coming in for Arme. They step away to not be caught out by the combo of the Kunkka.
Yeah, Battle of the Power Rune now resumes. It's about 30 seconds left, so we're talking about which supports can we bring to the runes, who can be there to help out. One haste, one DD, it can change the flow of the game entirely.
Toronto Tokyo also just sort of cutting the wave, maybe getting the momentum of the mid lane in such a state that he'll have that could get the rune, but yeah, PSG.LGD just split.
DD, it's a big rune. This allows you now to have the damage to potentially burst a hero that you wouldn't be able to otherwise. And bottom lane, Faith Beyond's really trying to pressure this tower. And now that he's forced out the Arctic Burn from Imposhka, Imposhka has to be very safe. He can't really sit there and playing it anymore and just continuously nuke the creeps. So expect this bottom tower to start falling. Meanwhile, top, is doing a great job of just defending.
He is. He's clearing out the wave, holding off the pressure. Something that Team Spirit can't quite do themselves here down bottom. Faith Beyond.
So here, it's an important smoke here that LGD are doing. is going to sit at the tower. The Radiant team can't really defend their own bottom tower. So what are they going to do? They're going to mirror your play. They're going to go and attempt to take the top lane tier 1 tower. So the smoke up here, it's a preemptive move in case Team Spirit tries to do something. But Spirit reads it perfectly. They are aware.
And making sure not to get caught out by these early moves as PSG.LGD do start to slowly ramp up an early gold advantage. Now heading the 1k lead, they'll be able to catch themselves.
Blood in the wake.
It actually so now no, and you can Fion has absolutely no fear. There's no hero that could gank him in any shape, way, or form. So he's off to a really, really good start. And when we talked about the draft coming into it, it's all about timings, right? So you want, ideally, for him to finish up his Helm of the Overlord and the Aghanim Scepter before 20 minutes. And if the game continues the way it is right now, it's highly likely to happen.
Double damage.
I'm a Spirit. I do want to try and put the pressure up top. Try and push Arme out of this top area of the map. See in the mid lane for the cat. But again, Toronto Tokyo fully prepared.
Yeah, Spirit are aware that the boat was used. Tower is very unlikely to be defended.
It's hard for them to get on top of Arme. Again, playing smart, putting a stop to the combo. And now time's been bought for PSG.LGD to come around. Yutoro immediately out with the TP. Doesn't want to be around here anymore. Mira will get found in the trees though. Another death here on the Bane. PSG.LGD continue to fight back against Spirit's attempts to get something done whilst the pushes are coming in elsewhere from PSG.LGD there. Definitely getting a little bit more done in this first 10 minutes.
Yep, they absolutely are. And Purge here on the Lycan. This allows you to take away the level 4 Vanguard from the Ember, which is his major fighting tool right now in the early game. So that gets purged, immediately the tower's gone.
Oh, look at this timing here, 10 minutes, a second tier 1 tower. Playing it fast, PSG.LGD.
Yeah, LGD have the entire map to play with right now. They're controlling the entire... It's basically wherever they want to go, wherever they want to kill is an option for them. And Team Spirit, they just have to try to play this map split game where they're the PSG.LGD heroes around and trying to get Yatoro to farm safely behind everybody else.
We're not going to see with the space that Collapse has got. He's going to have a good timing here on the Blink Dagger. I mean, how proactive do you expect to see them be here with this Blink pickup? Is it and an attempt for a kill?
I think very likely they're going to try to make some counter move where like they try to set up a play where they expect LGD to do something and they know where their heroes are going to be, and then they're set up ready to take that fight. I don't really expect them to make some aggressive smoke. Most likely around some enemy tower or one of their own.
See just this constant micro here.
Oh my god, Faith Beyond being so annoying. Toronto Tokyo's trying to farm jungle with his flame guard, but he's just purging it off every single time.
And he's taking all the camps himself, Faith Beyond here with the walls.
Yeah, and it's a tough... If you're Team Spirit, you've really drafted this like very late game heavy draft. You know it's gonna take a long time for you to come online. I think if you see a team like OG play December Spirit, he probably would have gone for more of a slight chain build and try to make moves, and try to break up the pace of the game. But Toronto Tokyo opted to go for the more farm heavy route. So their draft is going to come online much later than PSG.LGD's, and that's why they're allowed to dominate the early game the way they have been.
Well, nothing to say. He wants to set up in the mid. Arcane Rune in the bottle. Armlet on top of the phase. Very tanky Kunkka this early on, and a lot of damage to dish out.
Radiant are scanning.
If we take a look at the vision game, which we've been talking about so much during this series, because it's just so important, you notice you have the scouting wolves from Faith Beyond, so there's extra 2 wards basically running around the map and providing vision for LGD. And then on top of that, the Team Spirit wards are so defensively placed. They're right outside of their own towers, protecting their triangle and protecting their tier 2 bottom tower. So it's not really giving them any information about what's going on in the game. They don't really see any heroes on these wards, whilst LGD feel very comfortable moving around the map. So vision favor of LGD. They understand right now much better than Team Spirit does. Team Spirit's playing exclusively off of game sense.
You can see the confidence from PSG.LGD because of that vision control. Smoke ups, they swing through the triangle here of Team Spirit. See if Spirit gets caught out on the top. They don't. Yatoro knows to back.
Yatoro's so good at sniffing it out, I feel like.
Yeah, and he's made the call for Collapse to back off as well. They're both out of it.
Yeah, and this is purely a game sense read. This is him looking at the minimap, understanding what LGD is doing, and responding to it perfectly. There was no information of that play coming. Wonderfully done. There's a little bit of a play attempt set up in the bottom lane, but they just don't have the damage.
It's hard just with the 2 of them. Not a job. The supports alone.
But look at Yatoro, he's making his way over.
Maybe with the Terrorblade and the Metamorphosis, they could get the damage done if they get a grip onto Arme. He's tanky though, 2.4 and 2400 HP. He's got the treads. See if they can do it. Nice setup. Instantly TPs are coming in. See if they can do the damage quick enough. You're focusing down with the Metamorphosis and the Illusions. They'll be able to take it. They kill off Arme. As Declare's coming in, but Yatoro is able to sidestep it. PSG.LGD, can they get a grab in return? Nothing to say. Trying to charge in. See Mirror head into the trees, trying to distract them from the rest of them, but here comes the Micro from White.
Nice.
He's able to lock down Maposhka here with a setup from the Centaur, drag back into the combo. He'll try his best to break the combo. Nothing to say here with the curse thrown out Maposhka, but he will still end up going down. Still though, Spirit, they'll take that. They're able to take Arme off the map. Yatoro is able to continue to farm here with the benefit of Collapse and the Empower.
Yep, you're absolutely right. But they did use both the Lycan Form and the boat. And if you think about how LGD wants to play this game, it's important for them to have their cooldowns to get big kills or get big moments. While Team Spirit, every time nothing's happening in the game, they feel like they're getting ahead. They feel like they're progressing their game. And that's exactly what's going on now, right? They know there's no boat, there's no team fight that's going to happen in the next 2 minutes. And they're very happy about that.
Yeah, we're seeing as well Toronto Tokyo able to silently play his game here. He's been getting a lot of base. You see already with this time, with the first time pick up the Yules, he's already rather hard for PSG.LGD catch. He's got the Javelin on his way towards the Maelstrom, so his game, his farm's certainly going to be picking up pretty soon here. We'll see if PSG.LGD are able to find any more action to keep this lead going. Arme in the neighborhood, ready to brawl in the jungle of Spirit as Spirit give to them, but so Team 5 Spirit, they've returned to sort of that fantastic ability to read the moves and avoid any sort of engagement that is not preferable for them to be involved in.
Yeah, and I think when you're playing some sort of like Enchantress Skywrath type draft, you want to be getting kills right now. You want to be punishing them. And if you look at the graphs, it's been about a 2-3k lead for most of the game. They're not really progressing on LGD's side. Yes, they're ahead, but they're not getting more ahead. And with draft, you want to be getting more ahead as the game progresses. So it's looking like that 20-minute timing really is going to be everything for them.
Absolutely, especially now with the shit they've done on Arme. I mean, he is ready to be an incredible killer at this stage, of course. The power of the Tiny, ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, I think 2 supports from Team Spirit are going to be really, really important for this upcoming team fight, because if Bane is able to get a grip on the Tiny for long enough for TB to take good positioning and output damage, that might just be enough for them to win the game. If this Tiny goes down, PSG.LGD's draft has nothing. It's all about Ame.
This time around, Mira and
Radiant's middle
Miposhka
tower is under attack.
and collapse by their side. Arme. He's just got himself Xinkyu behind him. With the Shadow Blade in preparation to clear out the wave. We'll see if Spirit hang around to try and hunt it down.
Yeah, Miposhka with the read. He does have a sentry. Oof. Looks like he might have ran up with that wave if Ahmed had just been slightly more patient. So take a look at it to see the stand. One good curse, you know? It's all about getting the one good spell off. So having the positioning, staying back, and then blinking at the right moment, that's going to be... And they're giving him space, right? They're letting Miposhka sit in here, try to finish up the blink. They understand how important this is.
Absolutely. It's going to be huge curses. Just a lineup where you're running these 3 melee cores that want to be charging in at you. Absolutely possibilities for a huge turnaround at these team fights.
Yep, there definitely is. And if you look at Yatoro, he's building up for that Eye of Skadi. He wants to be tanky enough to tank the damage and then potentially get a Sunder off. That's going to be this big game for him. If he's able to stand his ground with Skadi and the Tiny initiates on anything but him, he might just be able to be tanky enough to stay alive. Really not getting any farm in this game right now is Collapse. He's kind of understood that, you know what, I'm just going to get my shard and I'm going to be happy with that. If I can have it by 20 minutes, that's everything I need.
Yeah, I mean, from Collapse, how much can get done with limited resources? This man's Magnus certainly the thing that got tripped up in the game, of course, where Xinkyu had the Rubik to deal with it. Something that isn't, of course, here this time round. So a bit more free of a game for Collapse to make his moves occur.
Yeah, I feel like teams are just waiting for this 20 minutes. I mean, if the pacing keeps going like this, I mean, LGD is going to hit their timing, and then you really team fight. The nice thing about having so much time right now is I expect Team Spirit to be really ready for that fight when it comes. But look at this. LGD are going to try to make a move right before it.
Yep. Here they go. Ancient Thunderhide leading the charge. Of course, we'll be spotted out here by Spirit. They'll know that there's likely going to be some action following it.
Great read from Spirit again. And look up top. Yatoro's just farming. 5 heroes committed down here for LGD, but Yatoro has the space that he wants.
You're going to grab underneath the tier 2 tower. Xinkyu, nothing to say. She's going to go with the RP just onto Xinkyu. Grab the scarf underneath the tower. The physical. Claims the life of the Enchantress. The Spirit or Collapse will end up dying to the Thunderhide of Faith Beyond, but of course that will also get claimed by Yatoro. So more money for them on the defense. An aggressive dive underneath the 2 tower. But as we said, the turner, it's absolutely there. Yatoro is able to get involved, and PSG.LGD, they get punished.
By Team Spirit. But keep in mind, RP was expended, Metamorphosis was expended, 20 minutes timing coming up, and Roshan's available too. So huge rune, arcane game-winning rune for him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it was once we see that Lycan form come up, expect them to make some kind of move. Actually, Tiny's missing 1,000 gold for his shard, so probably not going to be able to use his timing. So great fight for Spirit all around. Like, proving that they can kill the Tiny is huge for them.
I mean, Miposhka maybe even already leading into more action. He's got the Winter's Curse at the ready. Both Toronto, Tokyo, and Collapse up here, ready to play around him as well.
Radiant's middle tower.
Feels about
is
1,000
under
gold
attack.
away from the Ags.
Collapse. On toss, he's got quick catch and a drag back on to GQ. Gets him in reach of the rest of the team. They've got to watch out for these pickoffs. This is something that Collapse was tearing them apart with earlier in the series.
Yep, and Collapse is recognizing, you know, the idea from LG silence and when he blinks in Horn Toss. So he can't get the skewer back. Very similar to how the Rubik, but around they're just going to try to use this silence from Skywrath. So what does he do? He goes for the Sky. Great game understanding from Collapse.
Straight to the pit now as well. Even just with the one member there, no guy, no Jin Q. It's still enough that PSG.LGD feel that they cannot take this fight there. Letting this go to Spirit.
I feel like the pacing of the game right now, it really does favor Team Spirit. And they expect LGD to make some kind of move to try to break it up. I think they can't just let them farm out this 5-minute Aegis. Expect something to happen before that. Oh, it's such a calm before the storm kind of moment, I feel like. You see Toronto Tokyo is just slowly farming up his items. I mean, this Ember Spirit's been a beast this event, and he's only 1,000 gold off of his own dragon. And then after that comes a shard, and then there's just fire that's everywhere.
And he hasn't been caught yet this game. 1-0-3.
Dire's
Struggled
top
to
tower
contain
is under attack.
Toronto Tokyo in this early stage. He's also going to have that DD rune ready for the next fight. Level 18, he's going to
Dire's middle tower
some of these
is under
heroes on the
attack.
back line, they're not going to stand much of a chance at all. Jin Q,
Dire's structures
and why?
are
They better be
fortified.
pretty good. Toronto Tokyo making the jump in on them.
Yeah, the positioning of the supports, it's really, I think, the story of this game, because both front lines are so tanky. I don't really think they're going to go down without the assistance of the supports from both sides. So Miposhka and Mira
Dire's
going up
middle
against
tower
Y
is under
and Xingqiu. They both have very, very tough positions to be in. You're going to have Ember remnanting into your backline,
Dire's
chasing the
middle
Skyrath,
tower
chasing the
has
Ancient.
fallen.
And at the same time, if Tiny gets on top of you, you're just dead. If he gets eyes on you, you're gone.
Oh, and here's that time. So they've got the Yags ready. On Faith, yeah, ready to make the move here. As you say, they don't want to be held back by the idea that Yatoro's got an Aegis. They want to
Radiant
listen
are
to it.
scanning.
Yeah, they understand. If we wait too long, then Yatoro's going to be too strong. And here we go.
Ame.
Oh, they see him.
Set up for success here. Look at watch Yatoro. And Posh Toronto Tokyo and Collapse setting up across the cliffside as Y will be the first spot. See if Team Spirit want to tackle this.
The D.
Looking for options. Collapse. He's in. Instantly caught out by the Ancient Seal. So no skewer to follow. Why?
Chase back up.
Searing heat.
Is there anything they can do to save their Enchantress? I mean, does Wyatt need saving at all? He's going to need to. As the Nightmare holds him back.
Yeah, both used on Lycan as well as Tiny. So this means full reset. Now, Team Spirit are in control of this. They get to decide what happens in this game.
Yeah, they could push Aegis, Metamorphosis ready
Are scanning.
for use here. Tier 2s could be on the table for Team Spirit.
Looking for pick off. No, LGD can't fight back if they get on top of their heroes right now.
They've got their eyes on mid. Toro's starting to rack up the gold again after the Skadi. 2,800. It's got that butterfly queued up. Knows that they're not going to be wanting to pick up any sort of true strike
Dire's middle
anytime
tower is under
soon.
attack.
A PSG.LGD, the evasion would be huge.
I wonder if it's enough though. I like the idea of the Satanic more. Yeah, he's going for the Satanic.
He's changing.
I really like this, because if he can survive the Tiny combo, if he can get through it, you can purge off the silence from the Skyrath, you can get one hit off and then...
Yeah, the spell's beautiful.
I mean, if you're a Team Spirit fan, you're very happy with the pacing of this game. You saw LGD being unable to use their first timing of the game to really do anything. So if this keeps happening like 2-3 more times, then you're in the late game. And boy, are Team Spirit geared up to take that late game.
Ready with the setup. Toronto Tokyo in ready to go. See if he can get us a surprise jump onto PSG.LGD. Why? It's the closest now. It's just the two supports playing up here, really. Getting themselves in the most dangerous position whilst the cores are able to farm on the safer side of the map.
I think Team Spirit are going to look for some sort of smoke for this bottom triangle ward. This is a ward that they usually fight around when they have it, so Let's see what they do. It looks like they're moving over. Gem on Miposhka. They understand the importance of the vision this game. And there's no Tombstone this time, right? They don't have that kind of teamfight vision tool on Team Spirit as they did, or sorry, on LGD as they did in the previous 2 games. Now they're relying on the wolves. So having the gem, you that there's no wolves on top of you. They don't see where you're moving. They don't know what's going on. So great item pickup by Miposhka, understanding the importance of it. It's a tense game.
I mean, you know, the Team Spirit's got the solid jump, but PSG...
Back to 4.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Grab, nothing to say, out for a minute.
And seconds on the Aegis, and once again the wolf forms are used, but Armin is deciding to retreat. They don't see the opening they want. There's no buyback on the Kunkka.
Yeah, it's hard to fight with one of their most farmed cores right now in the game. They need them all up, really, to tackle Team Spirit head on. Bit of timing left on the Metamorphosis. Team Spirit, they can push up 6 minutes in. Just trying to take down this tier 2
Dire's structures
quick fingers.
are fortified.
Jumped away from the stun of the Tiny.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Rotation soon to be coming to an end. You see Spirit, they're happy to go for the dives behind the tower. Toronto Tokyo is in, and he's found himself Jin Q.
Great recognition there. You know, Tiny initiates on you top. What does that mean? That means was mid to fight. Immediately dives in. Wherever the Tiny is not, Team Spirit have massive freedom to make
Dire's middle tower
the Tiny. It's really all about this Tiny. And 2 last wolf forms have knocked on PSG.LGD's way. I feel like the game is slowly swinging into Team Spirit's favor, and they're getting past that impossible timing of fighting this Tiny.
Oh, collapse! He's got another grab! Jumps in wide! He's got...
Yeah, if you're PSG.LGD right now, you really gotta try to find a way to catch Team Spirit off guard. But they have the gem. They're setting up their vision smartly. They're playing around where they can see the dire heroes. If you look at the minimap, look at where they're positioned. Bottom side of the map, 2 hill wards here to cover any sort of entrance that LGD try to make. So they're always aware of what's going on. Very smart positioning on the map here. Team Spirit recognize that as long as we just delay the game, we don't feed, we don't give away anything for free, we're in a good position. Yatoro will carry us.
Never refuse gold given.
It's alright. In position now to be pushed down a threat in another tier 2 tower. See the setup, looking for Toronto Tokyo, but again, senses something's up and they don't get that catch.
Yatoro now beating on the bottom tier 2 tower. Doesn't get any sort of response. Means now they expect most of the LGD heroes to be on the top side of the map.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Metamorphosis up in 10 seconds. Can they start to poke the high ground, or is, how aggressive do you want to get with these pushes?
It's a scary decision to make. I don't envy carry players that have to make this decision at this position in the game, but
they're going to make the call to commit. Metamorphosis is up for Yatoro.
Is under attack.
Oh, does he want to push it into the base of PSG.LGD? Doesn't look like they want to.
I think the idea here is to try to force the LGD heroes back into the base, so that they then can play around their own wards and then potentially move over to the top side, remove any sort of vision that LGD has, and then get map control that way. And you know, with these illusions pushing, force the response.
He looks for the jump, he's not even going to get the grab back on Nothing to Say. So Nothing to Say, Beacon is up a mirror, holding him for the logo of the feed screen, gets cancelled by the avalanche. The Winter's Curse coming to a quick end. And PSG.LGD, they're flying out the base. Bow comes crashing down onto Mirror. Ancient Soup for now onto Yatoro, so they're going to back up and reset inside the base Toronto Tokyo. Or maybe even more actually, he's holding on to that, not jumping back quite yet, as they've killed off 2. And with 2 dead, they may just have the room to push up to the high ground. Yatoro, he's stepping up. Still a bit longer with the Metamorphosis left. They're taking this tier 3 tower. There's going to have to be buybacks. Jinkyu back into the game. But a tier 3 taken here. Some damage being done to the Rex as well. No Kunkka for 40 seconds.
Yeah, and no wolf fight.
Collapse. Jinkyu, he's got 70. Another man of PSG. They'll keep the push coming. And you've got to be careful, you know, Collapse is looking for another one. It's back on 5. He just can't stop finding them, Collapse. Every single time, pick off after pick off. You can't stand anywhere near Spirit.
No, you absolutely can't. And Yatoro's recognizing, you know, I don't have meta. I don't have my strongest but neither do they. And he's just pushing it here. I think they're going to keep going for these buildings. They do not seem afraid. There's so much confidence right now in how they're playing. They get the buyback, he's the next mark, but he's 3,000 HP.
So tanky. The Satanic at the ready if he ever feels threatened.
But look at this, LGD are coming in from behind. They can't go on the front line. They need to catch the backline heroes.
They're going to try and go for the easy kill first, or at least the easier, maybe, but no, it's not. TP out there, but to stop it. Arme's in with the combo. They catch the Bane, they need more though, nothing to their team. Doesn't look like they're going to get it. Meposhka's off into be able to find him to stop that escape. Team Spirit, they take a tier 3 in the mid lane. They only end up losing a Bane, pushing them up now to an 8k lead against PSG.LGD.
Yep, and once again, both the wolf forms are expended, so you know what that means? Roshan's available. Metamorphosis is ready in 10 seconds. Team Spirit are going to eye it up.
Even harder to deal with Yutora now. He's got the full Silver Edge done, so the ability to sort of duck in and out of the fights. He is going to be a right nightmare to deal with. We see Arme's behind, but you definitely feel that at the moment, with the timings that they've hit, Spirit as a unit are so much harder to deal with than it is for them to take down PSG.LGD.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's reflected in the way that Arme is playing, but he's about to get caught here at the top lane.
There's Collapse! Not dropping the RP! The BKB was out in time, he's into the invis, but the physical, is it going to be enough here from this Terrorblade? Yutora is focused, can't get away from him! Arme out for 80! They're ready to chase for more. Collapse, steering in to close the distance, Soldier. They caught the Skyrim, set up there as well with the cast up onto Fabian as well. They're going for a third kill here, skewer from Collapse, back into the claws of Spirit.
Team Spirit has lasted through the hardest part of the game. Now, thing is theirs. They just need to play this calmly, don't overextend, recognize that as long as we play around our own timings, this game is firmly in our grip.
I mean, there's 3 dead. There's no buyback. It's only nothing to say. And why left here for the defense? As Team Spirit, they're onto the tier 4s. They've got a fortification, but there's still those long seconds before they get their 2 cores back in the game. PSG.LGD.
They're gonna have to try to do something. I don't think they have enough time to wait for Tiny to respawn.
See how carefully Team Spirit
goes back.
There's 20 seconds, no Arme. They can push. They can push this Spirit. They don't need a back. 20 seconds without Arme. Look for more grabs before they close it up. Jump off for Collapse. Shing-Chu goes down. Nothing to say as well. And Checkpoint, nothing to say on Survivor. 8 seconds until Arme, but the Ancient, they're looking to close it up. They can taste the championship. They can taste the money, but the backdoor protection kicks in. The backdoor protection. It's not over yet. PSG.LGD, they'll start now to force Spirit back out the base. Meposhka will get himself out with a blink. They just need to reset Spirit.
Couple meters though.
They've got the curse. Holding back the light. Why? Being a bit of a nuisance on the side. Impetus onto Mirror, but why? It's chased down by Collapse. You saw they've got him. Toronto Tokyo, long mana. James holds it back, but now with the BKB armor. Straight back in with the Remnant. Gets instantly cut out with the Torrent. All the silence as well. Jump forward. Collapse. BKB. Steal back. Into the clutch of the Yutora. Yutora. Look at it with the RP. Where's the detection? Where's the detection?
No detection.
They need to see it. They don't get to see it. Arme, he's going to live. He's going to turn towards Spirit. He's still very low here. And then on slide chain, they get it. That's finished. Oh, nothing to say.
What a TP.
What a TP. He's out. He's alive.
So, no buyback on Toronto Tokyo. No buyback on Faithia.
Boy.
No buyback on Arme.
Oh my goodness.
There is a Roshan.
There is.
Oh, I thought it was going to be it.
I mean, it was so close. But the backdoor protection kicks in. PSG.LGD are able to pull together a defense. They lose their tier 4s, but the Ancient still stands.
Yep, Satanic used Sunder as well. You can feel the nerves. I can feel it. It's just on the line. It's one Sentry Ward could have won them the game there, but support's unfortunately not able to get into range.
Let's see what they can do around this pit. They're still down 16k PSG.LGD, but they've got all their ults up. It's going to make any sort of steal. They've already managed to... He's going to go down! Yatora's ready to step over his next target. He's looking over towards Arme. Collapse. Popping the BKB. Maposhka keeping himself alive with a cold embrace. Spirit. They'll turn over towards Armin, but Armin's still going to be... Oh, he's killed off another support. He's looking at Toronto Tokyo. Toronto Tokyo finds somebody else. He's got another Remnant. Slight of this into the Remnant of the high ground. He's away.
Armin shooting.
Yeah, sneaking around under the cover of these silver edges. Watching one another.
Metamorphosis is out, but so is the two wolf forms. It's both teams taking it safe right now. But look at why. He's stuck on the cliff.
Why?
Radiant's
Look how
top
carefully they're playing. They're scared to walk up here and try to kill him.
Watch like... I got him.
There we go.
They'll take him off the cliff.
But look at Rose!
Oh!
Armin's killing Rose!
Oh, no, he can't do it, surely. Blink and time collapse. He's got his eyes on him. Still no nothing. Wide for 50 seconds.
Armin's alone!
He's gone in alone. That was a risky move. He's got the back of a Jin Q. But Spirit, they're going to chase on. A chase. Oh, no, it's gone. 2 minutes, no tidy. Ancient exposed. Spirit, they'll make the walk over towards the Ancient.
They're not waiting for the creeps.
They're ready to close it this time. Only 2 left. Can they stop him? I don't think they can. GQ's got it over.
GG!
Team Spirit victory.